Okay, let's start. This is the continuation ng ating unang lesson, yung introduction to vet entrepreneurship. So, ito, we'll talk about the profession. Okay, we define entrepreneurship sa practice, yung role ni vet as entrepreneur, what are the models of veterinary practice, and the challenges to the profession. So, in our profession, hindi lang sapat na magaling ka sa medisina, in treating. Kapag nag-clinic ka, it's automatic na you're also a negosyante. Okay? So, ikaw bahala sa patient mo, sa staff mo, sa client, and even sa financial aspect ng clinic. So it's important na we understand what's being a veterinarian. That being a veterinarian is a mixture ng pagiging doktor at pagiging entrepreneur. So, this is not usually taught in med school because you can't learn everything in theory. Because you will learn these things in real life when you actually dwell uh, on this matter sa pagkakaroon ng enterprise. So, dito magkakatalo kung magsusurvive si clinic o hindi. Okay, so you'll learn things in theory, but it's real life experience ang makakapagturo talaga sa atin. Okay? Okay, so entrepreneurship and veterinary practice. So when we say entrepreneurship, hindi lang ito tungkol sa pagkita ng pera or profit. This is also about identifying opportunities and sa pagbibigay ng value through service delivery. So in the veterinary field, it means that marunong kang magpagamot ng hayop at marunong ka ring magpatakbo ng negosyo. So, dito pumapasok yung balanse ng clinical skills at business innovation para maging sustainable ang clinic, masaya ang clients, at maaalagaan mo din si staff. Okay? So, entrepreneurship is not just about the business. This is also about seeing the problems and giving solution to these problems. And of course, these solutions should have value. So, example, may problemang mahirap magdala ng alaga sa clinic. So, you come up with the mobile clinic. May problemang mahal yung consultation. Kaya may subscription plans. Or yung mga, we have clients kasi that are, alam mo yun, short of budget. So, we really tend to, alam mo yun, we want to give them the service uh, para na rin sa mga pets nila, no? Because you see their love for their pets. So some clinics really offer subscription plans or they pay in what do you call this? Parang they pay na what do you call this? Parang with plans, yung monthly plans. Installment, ayun. They pay in installment. While nagkakaroon naman na rin tayo ng mga pet insurances. So, marami na rin ang nag-a-avail for pet insurances. It lessens the gastos for the client. So, next, a veterinarian entrepreneur is a problem solver and of course, may diskarte po ito sa enterprise, sa negosyo. So, hindi lang basta magaling gumamot, marunong ding mag-isip kung paano magiging sustainable yung practice niya. So, yun nga, sabi, focuses on sustainability sa client satisfaction and staff well-being. So, of course, with community impact. Okay? So, core elements of veterinary entrepreneurship. Number 1, vision. You anticipate the client and community needs. So, dapat marunong tayong mag-anticipate. Ano ba yung kailangan ni client? pati ng community. Ito yung long-term goal mo. For example, gusto ko ng clinic na magfo-focus for preventive care. O gusto ko ng specialty hospital. 'Di ba? We have referral hospitals. In case that this clinic cannot handle this case, pwede nilang i-refer doon sa isang clinic that handles this kind of cases. For example, sa ating mga osteo problems, 'di ba? Bone problems. For yung mga na uh, kinakailangan ng mga kinakailangan ng bone surgery, mga ganyan. So, kasi some clinics can't offer that kind of service, no? Bukod kasi sa mahal yung mga equipments to do this kind of service, mahal din po kasi yung mga plates, pins, mga medullary pins, okay? So, yung iba, ibang bansa pa talaga ino-order. Yan. So, mahal talaga ang gastos for this. And, if you're gonna specialize sa ganitong aspeto, syempre, you need training, di ba? Then, next, innovation. So, new services, technologies, workflow improvements. Hindi tayo pwedeng stuck lang sa lumang sistema. We need updated new services and technology. So, dito, pumapasok yung creativity mo. Okay? This is where your creativity enters. Okay? So, kung paano ka mag-i-innovate. Okay? Paano mo mai-improve. So, paano mo gagawing iba yung clinic mo sa iba. Okay? What makes you unique? Okay? Third, risk management. Lahat ng negosyo may risk. Kaya, dapat marunong tayong mag-handle ng legal, financial, at medical risks. Again, pwede tayong mag-seek ng legal help from others. Dito malalaman mo paano ka iiwas sa malpractice, sa pagkalugi, kahit legal problems, 'di ba? And then fourth, value creation. Hindi lang profit ang mahalaga sa atin, but also mas mahusay na patient care and maayos na operasyon. Kasi parang may silbi bang ginagawa ko sa patient ko, sa client ko, and sa staff. Aside from profit kasi, ang basihan pa ng success ng isang enterprise is yung ginagawa mo for the team, yung operations ng business mo. Okay? It's not just the profit. Because before the profit, you need to have your organization or your team to be a success. Right? Okay? Kung hindi maayos ang team mo, you won't have that profit. If hindi maayos ang service mo, you won't have that profit. Okay? Next. Role of vets as entrepreneurs. Number 1, as business leaders. Again, for business leaders, andito na naman tayo for the decisions. Okay? You lead teams, you motivate your staff, and you maintain the culture. You oversee the financial health, budgeting, pricing, and key performance indicators. But again, it is recommended that you seek advisors for this. Legal advisors, financial advisors, to just keep you guided. Okay? Next. Hindi lang tayo basta tumitingin sa pasyente o tumitingin ng pasyente. We also decide clinical, non-clinical matters. From the price of your services, scheduling, hanggang sa paghawak mo ng employees mo. Ayan. So, tayo yan. And tayo rin ang responsible, of course, sa gastos nga ng clinic. So, ikaw ang pinaka-head ng clinic if you're a business leader. Ikaw yung magdedesisyon kung mag-hire ka ba ng bagong staff, kung magtataas ka ba ng presyo, kung bibili ka ba ng bagong equipment, bibili ka ba ng stocks mo, resources, meds, ganyan. So, kung mali ang decision mo, think of it, buong clinic mo maapektuhan. Okay? So, you need to be careful kapag you're making decisions. Okay? Kaya ang vet, dapat hindi lang marunong mag-diagnose, dapat marunong din siyang mag-desisyon sa negosyo. Okay? Next. So, next, as innovator. So, as an innovator, kailangan marunong tayong sumabay sa uso at teknolohiya. Kasi as the time goes by, no, nagbabago po yan. We adapt to trends. Okay, adapt. A po yan, adapt. Adapt to trends. So, we introduce new service lines, client experience improvement through digital comms, or online pharmacy. So, for example, ngayon nga, meron na tayong telemedicine since the pandemic started, nung nagkaroon nga ng pandemic. 'Di ba? Nauso po si telemedicine, wherein online consultations are done sa human med, ha? I'm not sure about the veterinary aspect kung meron na. So, advanced diagnostics, as I said earlier, yung mga clinics na may mga blood chem machines na automatic na nagbibigay ng differentials, mga ganun. AI-supported workflow. So, hindi rin sapat na consultation lang. We could add different services. Like rehab medicine. Bibihira po ang rehab medicine. That's why other clinics with rehab medicines are really expensive. Okay? And then, wala din po tayo masyadong behavior consults. 'Di ba? Kaya nagiging number one concern din po ng mga clients natin ay yung behavior ng mga pets. But they do not consult the vets about the behavior, 'di ba? Wala masyadong nagtatanong na bakit po ba yung behavior ng aso ko ganito ganyan. Wala masyado 'di ba? And then dentistry and urgent care. Okay? Next, sa client experience, important po because of online bookings. Many clients po ngayon ay more on online bookings na and they want chat updates. Meron po tayong mga client na gusto na nag-update na yung clinic to them. Okay? Pwede naman pong hindi si vet ang mag-update, but pwede pong si front desk, si vet tech, vet assistant ang mag-update because they want assurance, 'di ba? Online pharmacy din po possible. Okay? Our course, veterinary medicine, is always changing kasi. Noon, syempre, wala pa namang online appointment. So, how is appointment done before, 'di ba? Pumupunta sa clinic. Pumupunta sa clinic, you set an appointment. Minsan, you call, you text. Pero, wala pa yung online appointment na you schedule your pet sa scheduler nila sa website. Ngayon, expected na po yan. So, noon, puro physical exams lang. Ngayon, nagkakaroon na ng imaging, di ba? Some use AI diagnosis para lang mas mabilis. And then, teleconsults, meron na rin yatang kaunti, but I'm not sure what company ito. So, kung hindi ka mag-i-innovate, may iiwan ka, 'di ba? May iiwan ka ng competitors because your competitors adapt to trends. Ang innovation, ang innovation ay hindi po luho. Okay? It's a necessity. And it's modern practice. That's reality. Next, as community partner. So, kung vet ka sa isang lugar, hindi lang ikaw yung clinic dyan, 'di ba? Ikaw yung tatawagin sa rabies outbreak. Ikaw yung tatawagin sa vaccination drives kasi community partner ka eh. Tatawagin ka sa disaster response, meaning ang role mo hindi lang pang individual owner, kundi pang public safety and community health din. You provide accessible and ethical care. Halimbawa, sa baryo ka nakatira and you're the only vet there, help as much as possible. Help your community. Help mo yung baka ni Mang Boy. Help mo yung kambing ni Mang Juan. Mga ganyan. So, you build trust with clients and organizations because some organizations will really team up with you. And of course, support public health. Always, always think about the public. Okay? We work with One Health. Okay? Next, as consultants and advisors. Being a consultant, kasi it allows veterinarians na makapag-create ng own niche. Okay, niche, yung N-I-C-H-E, niche, or yung specialized services. We build independent businesses without a clinic. Diba? May independent business ka, pero wala kang clinic. How? You're a consultant. You're a farm consultant. You're an advisor. Tinatanong ka for government policies, ganyan. So, leverage their expertise for multiple clients. Diba? You have multiple clients. Hindi lang iisa. And then, you influence industries on a larger scale. And then, you earn higher, flexible income based on knowledge. So if, ayun. So, not just clinical work kasi siya. So, kapag mas marami kang alam, mas marami kang what do you call that? Mas marami kang maiaambag. For example, to this, corporate consulting, government, sa policies, zoonotic disease, the more you know dito, as a consultant and advisor, the more you know, the higher your income. Diba? Flexible income. Okay? Next, okay. Marami rin kasing veterinarians ang nagiging consultant and advisors. So, tayo yung nagbibigay ng advice, yun nga, for farm safety, quality assurance, animal health programs, for example, sa poultry, sa piggery, ayan, health programs, zoonotic diseases. Minsan po, the government needs help from veterinarians all over the world para lang ma-solve ang cases for our zoonotic diseases. Even nga po sa paggawa ng policies ng gobyerno. So, may mga vets din po na nagiging corporate consultant sa agriculture at food industry. So, sa farms, hindi lang kasi basta nagpapagamot si vet, naggagamot si vet. Siya din yung nagsasabi kung anong feeding program yung tipid, ganyan, sa farm. Paano iiwas sa sakit yung buong farm nyo, paano tataas yung production rate, and all of that. So, kaya ang income nga dito ay hindi lang galing sa treatment, kundi sa advice at strategic planning. So, that's what I'm going for. Professional advice and strategic planning, yung mga keys mo to earn dito sa consultant and advisor. Next, biotech and pharmaceutical. So, dito sa biotech and pharmaceutical, you identify the health problems and you propose innovative solutions. Nagmamanage ka din ng technology-based businesses. Kasi you bring scientific products mula idea to the market. So, you create impact sa large scale. So, beyond one clinic. This is one of the most high-impact, science-driven ways a veterinarian can act as an entrepreneur. So, hindi lang clinic ang trabaho ng veterinarians. Again, hindi lang po ulit clinic. Ang iba po ay napupunta sa research dito nga, sa biotech and pharmaceutical industry. Kasama sa pagde-develop ng gamot, pagtetest ng gamot, bakuna, bagong technology para sa mga animals natin. And sa pamamagitan nito, with this, nakakatulong tayo sa mas mabilis na diagnosis at mas epektibong treatment ng mga sakit. Hindi lahat ng vet kasi nagkaka-clinic. Okay, so, yun, yung iba, pumupunta talaga sa research, vaccine development, drug testing, diagnostics. Malaki din naman kasi ang earnings mo dito, ang kita mo dito. But syempre, you're an employee dito. And mataas ang contribution mo sa industry. Okay, so for example, kung walang vet sa drug testing, delikadong lalabas si medicine. So, vets protect both animal safety and public health dito. But there are legal issues and animal welfare rights when it comes to drug testing. Kasi, of course, as we know, we have policies regarding the animal welfare at paggamit ng animals for drug testing. So, ngayon, pinagbabawal na po ang drug testing on animals. So, most likely, nade-develop na po na magkaroon ng animal models or sa lab animals na lang po ito ginagawa. But still, si PETA po ay against talaga, even on lab animals. Next. So, as an educator, ano po ba si educator? Si prof, ayan, you teach, you educate, you conduct seminars, and of course, provide pet owner education. A veterinarian in a clinic is also an educator. Basta, they educate the pet owner. So, being an educator kasi is central to veterinary entrepreneurship. It builds trust, it improves service quality, and it empowers the team. You strengthen the community, and it drives the business growth. So, our role bilang educator, maraming nagtuturo, okay, sa schools, maraming teachers. But still, kinukulang pa rin. Okay? Kaya minsan, you see your professors medyo stress because overload po sa workload. And, of course, mga nagbibigay ng seminars, nag-educate ng pet owners. This is important. You educate the pet owner. Kasi kahit gaano kagaling ang doktor, kung walang kaalaman si owner, the client ay babalik at babalik pa rin. Because of what? Kasi may sakit pa rin si animal. For example, hindi natupad ni client o hindi nasunod ni client yung treatment regimen mo for antibiotics. Hindi gumaling si dog. So, ending, babalik. You educate again the owner. Hindi na naman nagawa. And now, papasok na dito na you should properly educate your client na if you keep on doing this, 'di ba? If you keep on doing this na hindi mo po tatapusin yung medication, yung treatment regimen mo for your pet, this will just, go over and over again. Babalik at babalik. Pwedeng hindi na po gumana si antibiotic to the bacteria na nagkukos po ng sakit. Dito pumapasok si AMR. Okay? Because education is preventive medicine. So, kapag na-educate mo ang owner, hindi na pwedeng niyang ma-instill sa utak niya na hindi ko napababayaan na walang bakuna ito. Kasi ayaw ko nang mangyari ito sa kanya ulit. Okay? Hindi na mali yung pagpapakain, hindi na mamamali yung treatment regimen, hindi na lalala ang sakit. So, kaya ang teaching at seminar ay hindi lang extra work yan. Bahagi na talaga siya ng responsibilidad ng veterinaryo. Okay? Next, so why do veterinarians make great entrepreneurs? 'Di ba? Kasi daw, compassionate tayo. Really ba? Charis. Client-centered approach. Okay, so dito tayo. Bakit nga ba magagaling na entrepreneurs ang vets? Kasi, yun nga, compassionate. Ikalawa, meron tayong analytical skills and scientific skills. So, sa problem solving, meron tayong ability to solve the problems. Kung kaya natin mag-handle ng mga patient na ganito, na may mga malulubhang sakit, then for sure, we could handle a business. Okay? We have the patience, kahit gaano ka-toxic sa clinical setup, we still come back because it's our passion that makes us work. It's our passion to heal animals that makes us come back kung bakit tayo bumabalik-balik sa profession na to at hindi tayo napapagod kahit araw-araw na tayong natotoxican sa clinic. Right? And then, we have strong work ethics and leadership skills. Well, may mga vets po talaga na, kinukulang sa work ethics. But, please, we should practice na hindi maging ganun. Okay? We aim for the better employee, better person tayo, 'di ba? Kinder every day, and have leadership skills. araw-araw tayong nagdedesisyon para sa buhay ng mga pasyente natin. So, 'di ba? It's a factor, 'di ba? So, aside from this, sanay tayong vets sa long working hours. 'Di ba kapag ka may mga confined patients tayo, 'di ba? Nahaba noon, halos 24 hours kang nakadilat ang mata just to check on the patient because you have the passion. Okay, sanay ang vets life and death decisions. 'Di ba? Minsan it's hard to decide if you're gonna if if you're gonna end another angel's life, 'di ba? So, ang hirap mag-decide. And then, may pressure tayo sa mga emergencies. 'Di ba? Biglang may darating, may client, may patient na darating. Dok, hindi po ay maniaso ko, ganito ganyan. 'Di ba? The pressure is on us. So, kung kaya mong humawak ng pasyente na in emergency, kayang-kaya mong humawak ng negosyo. I assure you guys, you can do it. Entrepreneurship is a decision-making under pressure, and it is a natural skill in vets. Pag dumating si client with the patient, 'di ba? The pressure is on you. What is your assessment? What is your plan? 'Di ba? From the SOAP documentation, you have your subjective, objective, your assessment, and your plan. 'Di ba? You need to think of it quick. 'Di ba? Sa isang snap, dapat, okay. Ito dapat gawin. Okay, undergo siya nito. 'Di ba? It's a natural skill. Next, veterinarians understand the emotional bond between the owners and pets. Kasi, we didn't enter this world if we do not have passion and love for our pets, for animals. 'Di ba? Hindi tayo papasok dito just what? For the money? Well, maybe others, but majority ng pumapasok sa profession na to, they really do have love and passion for this. Okay, so this strengthens the veterinarian client-patient relationship. They also have strong communication skills na nakakapag-empower dun sa client with knowledge about animal care. And making them more likely to return for future service. So, ayun nga po, for client education, the more na ma-educate mo yung client mo at makita niyang may nangyayari sa pet niya just because you educated the client properly, babalik at babalik yan. Uy, Dok, gumaling yung alaga ko sa ginawa mo. Dito ko na lang siya laging ipapacheck. Dito ko na lang siya laging ipe-preventives. Mga ganong bagay. So, we veterinarians deal with animals that cannot communicate their concern. 'Di ba? So, as such, we veterinarians need to treat our patients based from analyzing kung ano yung treatment na mag-work best. 'Di ba? So, kasama yung scientific knowledge for that. Okay? Next. Models of veterinary practice. So, today's pet owners, ano nga ba yung mga pet owners ngayon? They are demanding, for sure. They want choices, they want variety, they want value, and they want time-saving options. When we say time-saving options, gusto nila yung sa schedule na aakma sa kanila. If my work is from 8 to 5, I will bring my pet around 6. I will bring my pet on a Saturday, on a Sunday. 'Di ba? That's why clinics are open during the weekends. Kaya minsan ang day off is just what? Monday, Tuesday, ganyan. Sometimes 6 day per week pa, right? So, gusto kasi ng mga pet owners ngayon na mabilis yung service, convenient nga sa schedule nila, sulit sa bayad, okay? Kumbaga worth it. Kaya hindi sapat yung traditional clinic lang. So, kailangan natin mag-adjust sa lifestyle ng modern pet owners. Ngayon, kasi, today's pet owners treat their pets as anak nila. Okay, you see many people ngayon at malls. Ano yung nasa stroller? Pets. 'Di ba? Ano yung mga nasa Instagram? Pets. Ano yung nasa Facebook nila? Pets. 'Diba? Kaya bumaba na po ang rate ngayon ng mga nagpapakasal na halos kaedaran natin. Bumababa po ang rate. Even yung gantong edad natin na nagkakaanak. Okay? Because, alam mo yun, nag-dwell na tayo or nagfo-focus na tayo on having pets. Lalo na po nung pandemic, napatunayan po yan because veterinary clinics during the pandemic ay talagang kumita ng malakas. Kasi dumami po ang mga owners, pet owners. Yan. And then, hindi na lang po kasi bantay ang tingin ng mga client sa kanilang alaga na tulad dati. Dati kasi talagang bantay lang ang tingin nila kay Brownie. Ngayon, anak na si Brownie. Kaya mas mataas ang emotional attachment, mas mataas yung demand, mas mapapanagot ang vet. Kaya dumadami rin po ang legal problems ngayon, legal issues. Gusto ng owners ngayon na may quality, convenience, tsaka transparency. What do you mean by transparency? Gusto nila malaman lahat yung buong detalye ng ginawa mo, gagawin mo, at ano yung ginagawa mo ngayon dun sa pet nila. Okay? They also want transparency sa bills. Okay? No hidden charges. So, in general, yung veterinary practice ay nagbago po over the past few decades. Although there are a number of corporate players in the field, yung majority ng veterinary practice sa country are owned as sole proprietorships. Okay? And meron mga held corporations, partnerships, pero yung retail environment also changed dramatically over the same period. Dumami po ang mga pet shops lang na do not offer clinic services. 'Di ba? Mga bilihan lang ng ano. Si Pet Express, 'di ba? Bilihan lang 'yan ng treats, ng food, ng damit, 'di ba? Crib, cages, bags, ano pa 'yon? Stroller, ano pa? And many more. And of course, gusto po ng mga pet owner ngayon na may 24 access sa health-related information. So, they really want updates. Okay? They really want updates from the vet kung ano bang nangyayari na sa pet nila. Okay? Next. Okay, next. Itong current situation naman. Expensive undertaking. Ang totoo po niyan, mahal talaga magpatayo at magpatakbo ng clinic ngayon. Kasi maraming clinics nang magkakamuka. Wala na masyadong pinagkaiba. Kaya mataas din po si overhead cost. So, small vet practices with high overheads. Okay? Kaya ngayon, mas maraming vet na ang pinipili work-life balance. Hindi na po agad nagpo-full ownership ng clinic. Well, marami pong pages na makikita nyo yung mga hiring, looking for ganito-ganyan clinics that would accept blah blah blah. 5-day work week. Kasi gusto po nilang work-life balance. Okay. Expensive undertaking, mataas ang rent, kuryente, sweldo, equipment. Kaya kahit maraming pasyente, hindi po ibig sabihin automatic mayaman agad si vet. Okay, so sa mga may mindset po na nag-vet because mabilis pong yayaman. Ayan. To be able to be mayaman and successful, 'di ba? Kailangan mo ng critical thinking and analysis kung paano mo ma-reach yung goal na yun. Okay, so but it's not automatic na mayaman na agad vet. So, kaya ngayon po, uso po si partnership, group clinics, at corporate employment. For group clinics po, for example, si Clinic A, si Clinic B, different names, but the doctors are the same. Mga ganyan po. Even in partnerships, ganun. Okay, to make it crystal clear lang with dito sa overheads, meron lang everyday example, 'di ba? Na parang shops versus supermarkets. So ano tong mga shops? Yung mga pop-up shops, small shops, mga small corner shop, 'di ba? For example, etong si Shop A, tinitinda niya lahat. Given that maliit lang siya, tinatry niyang itinda si bread, si milk, si clothes. Nag-electronics, pati furniture. So, syempre, para magawa yun, kailangan mo maraming stock, maraming space, and staff. So, that's very expensive. And because only a few customers come in, yung cost po per item are high. Diba? So, supply and demand. If you have, if konti supply mo pa isa-isa, ganyan, diba? Mataas yung presyo. Diba? And if konti lang yung customers mo, tataasan mo talaga yung presyo para even na hindi maubos yung tinda mo, nababawi mo. But, ang hirap nun kasi ang mahal ng tinda mo. Okay? So, kung i-compare siya sa big supermarket, yung mga wholesale, it also sells everything, pero dahil maraming bumibili dito, yung cost po niya spread out. Kaya yung product niya cheaper, 'di ba? So, kung i-apply mo sa veterinary clinic, yung mga small vet practices, parang yun yung mga shops, mga pop shops, corner shops. Kasi each one tries to offer every service, like surgery, x-ray, hospitalization. So, kailangan nila ng maraming equipment, 'di ba? Small corner shop lang siya, small corner clinic shop, pero napakarami niyang equipment and staff. Pero since small sila, wala silang enough patients to spread those costs. So overheads are high. Kaya, communities often end up with many small clinics. And each community, kinikerry po yung heavy costs instead of fewer larger centers that could share resources more efficiently. Ba? Okay. Ano po ba yung impact pag ganito? Of course, higher bills. Diba? Because each small clinic has to buy expensive equipment and hire staff para sa bawat service na meron siya, yung cost po napapass on sa pet owner. Si pet owner po ang nagbabayad. Less efficiency kasi unlike po sa big hospital that could spread cost across many patients. Small clinics po serve fewer pets. Diba? So each visit is proportionately more expensive. Then limited choice. Kahit na marami yung clinic, even though there are many clinics, bawat isa po yan ay merong heavy overhead talaga. Kaya yung prices across the community tend to stay high. For example, si dog need ng x-ray. Si clinic kailangan i-maintain tong machine kahit na ginagamit lang tong x-ray machine once, twice a week. 'Di ba? With fewer patient, yung cost po for maintaining that machine, for keeping that machine running, is built into the bill. Okay? So, for short, yung pet owners ang nagbabayad. No? They often pay more because small clinics try to do everything themselves instead of sharing resources like bigger hospitals do. Okay? Next. Okay, next. Dito naman sa marketplace. Today's owners are savvy. Bakit? Kasi sa ngayon, mas informed na yung mga owner. Mas mapili. Hindi na sila basta sumusunod sa vet. Kasi nagre-research na po yan. May Dr. Google. 'Di ba? Nagre-research na online yan. Uunahan ka na. Ay, ito pa yung sakit na aso. Nakita ko po sa Google. 'Di ba? Mga ganyan. Gusto nila ng options. They want control over sa schedule and value for money. 'Di ba? The problem nga kasi ngayon yun nga, marunong na po mag-Google ang clients. Minsan mas naniniwala pa po sila sa social media kaysa po sa doktor. Kaya, lalo na, pag may nababasa pa silang real experiences from other, na, uy, ganito ginamit ko sa pet ko that, which is having the same as yours. Ganito ganyan. You should try ganito ganyan. So, diba, na gusto nilang nakakakita, ay, gumaling yung halaga niya sa ganitong ginamit niya. O, mga ganon. Kaya kailangan hindi lang magaling ka. Kailangan marunong ka rin makapag-communicate ng maayos. Okay? And then, hindi na po typical American family. Bakit? Kasi most adults, both male and female, are working. What do we mean by typical American family? Naiiwan po si female sa bahay or si male sa bahay. Only one lang yung nag-workout. 'Di ba? Yung isa po naiiwan sa bahay to work in. 'Di ba? Ngayon, hindi na. Both male and females are working during the normal business hours, 8 to 5. Diba? Because consumer debt is rising. Diba? Lumalaki po ang utang ng mga yan. Because of the needs, wants, inflation. Diba? Kaya, mas gusto nila sa schedule na wala silang pasok. And then, yun nga, consumers want selection, choice, value, time-saving option, and of course, their own schedule. And then here, the client-centered practice. So, yung mga client po, they want access to specialists, to information, to health educators, to clients with similar concerns as I have discussed in the previous slide. Training and behavior consultants as I have discussed din earlier. So here, ang focus ay hindi lang po panghayop, kundi pati si owner. Gusto nila may access na nga sila dito sa mga ito. So, mas collaborative ang approach. Hindi na po pwede na doktor lang ang nasusunod ngayon. Ngayon, collaborative na. They want the trainers, groomers, nutritionists, and even behaviorists. So, may mga ganyan po talagang client ngayon. Nagiging savvy na. Marami nang hinahanap, marami nang dinedemand. Okay? So, team approach na ang veterinary care. It's not just a one-man job ngayon. Next, so dito na tayo sa models of veterinary practice. We have the traditional solo. Siya po ay nag-iisa lamang. Sa clinic, siya po lahat. Personalized ang care pero sobrang bigat yung trabaho. Kasi siya lahat. Siya si consultation, siya si admin, siya si finance. Siya rin gagawa. So, problema rin dito yung succession. For example, napagod na po si Doc. Kanino mapupunta? Ang clinic. 'Di ba? Wala siyang na-train. Magandang solo practice kung gusto mong full control. Pero kapalit nga nito, yun, high workload, burden sa admin, and yun nga, walang day off, stress. Kasi isang tao lang ang gumagawa ng lahat. Next, sinabi ko na rin ito kanina, group multi-doctor, shared ownership po. Kasi dito, hati-hati si gastos and responsibilities. Mas madali bumili ng equipment at mas madali ang staffing. Mas magkakaroon din ng time for specialization. 'Di ba? For example, 4 kayo and each one of you specializes on something. And each one of you is good for gen practice then, for general practice, 'di ba? But you have your perks bawat isa sa inyo. So, mas stable ito financially compared sa solo practice. So, dito, may teamwork, may time off, kasi you could schedule. Kunyari, for this day, si ganito and ganito, so ganito and ganito naman for the next day. Mga ganyan. Okay? So, yun nga, mas may specialization, may backup kapag emergency, and balance model. Ito pong backup emergency. Ito yung sinasabi nila na mga clinics na mayroong senior vets na hindi ka iiwan alone, lalo na pag may emergency cases to handle. Siyempre, as a starting vet, junior vet, hindi mo pa rin kaya to decide on your own when sa mga cases na ganon. Diba? You still need guidance mula sa expert, sa senior vet, sa vet na nag-work na for years and years dito. Diba? And then, this is the balanced model for many vets today. Okay? Next, corporate vet practice. Dito naman po, ito yung sinasabi nilang hindi siya vet-owned hospital. Okay, sa corporate practice. Kasi may centralized management at protocols. So, may security sa sweldo. However, may security ka dito sa sweldo. Kahit wala kang patient for the day, you still have the sweldo. May HR support, may career path. Kasi, some corporates ngayon offers trainings. Diba? Trainings abroad, trainings locally, ganyan. Pero the downside is that decision-making autonomy medyo limited. Okay? And then dito, employee ka sa isang malaking kumpanya. 'Di ba? But you have your sweldo, you have the benefits, may training. Limit is that you don't have the autonomy to some things. Next, mobile. Ito po yung mga rolling vets. Yung mga nakasasakit. Yung mga mobile vets. Yung doing consultations. Mga umiikot-ikot sa community. So, also, home service. Ganun. Mas relaxed po itong model na to kasi mababa ang overhead costs. So, mas relax si client, mas relax din si animal kasi di na siya may stress magbiyahe. Okay? Perfect to sa mga geriatric patients natin, yung mga old dogs, senior dogs, anxious animals, yung mga hindi po sanay sa other dogs, sa tao, sa labas, sa ingay ng syudad. Owners na walang sasakyan, of course, yung mga nasa village na wala pong sasakyan. The only limit dito ay sa surgery and diagnostics. Okay? So, syempre, di mo naman mailagay sa mobile mo minsan yung ibang diagnostic tests. And, of course, magsa-surgery ka, you want to do it sa sterile place. Diba? You want to do it in your clinic. And then, next, specialty and referral hospitals. Ito po sinabi ko din earlier about sa specialty hospitals. So, sila yung humahawak ng advanced cares for surgery, onco, neuro. Yan, mga cancer, neurology, complex surgery. Mataas ang gasto sa equipment at training, pero mataas din ang kita, of course. Because many clinics ngayon ang hindi nag-o-offer ng mga specific care services. Yan. So, syempre, re-refer. Syempre, tumataas yung kita ni referral. So, dito na pupunta yung cases na hindi nga ma-handle ng isang clinic. So, mahal ang equipment, training, pero dito yung peak. Okay? Dito yung peak na you could earn talaga. Next, emerging models. Ito nga si telemedicine-based. Hindi ako sure if meron na talagang telemedicine-based ngayon. Pero, syempre, parang puro pa lang to. Puro tentative diagnosis pa lang maibibigay mo dito because now, to confirm diagnosis, talagang gumagamit na tayo ng mga diagnostic tests. Okay? Subscription-based plans, we have your insurances, we have your clinics that offer installments para sa hindi kaya magbayad ng one-time payments. So, bagong direction po ito sa veterinary practice. Okay, next. And, of course, ito, mobile surgery. Diba sabi ko nga kanina, previous slide, hindi naman pwedeng mag-surgery ka dun lang sa place nila owner. You want to do your surgery as much as possible in a sterile place. So, if you're gonna devise something like this mobile surgery, ensure na sterile po yung location or yung inside nung mobile nyo. Okay, and ultrasound providers, may mga ultrasound na po tayong handy ngayon. Lalo na yung mga ginagamit natin for Carabaos. Ayan, handy po ang mga ultrasound na yan. Parang bag lang na parang lang siya eh. What do you call that? Parang sling bag lang siya. Ganon ka-handy. Next, for challenges, marami na pong pinagdadaanan ng ating profession. Number 1 is the workforce and burnout. Kaya marami na pong nagre-request ngayon ng 5-day work week. Kasi naka-work-life balance na po ang mga tao ngayon. Okay, so we have the financial pressures, financial stress. Tumataas po ang client expectations and communications demands. May matinding market competition dahil dumadami na po ang clinics. And mga regulatory and ethical challenges. So, but the top problem ngayon ay si burnout. Kasi, mahaba yung oras, may high emotional stress due to your clients, nagkakaroon ng pressure mula sa clients, kaya marami yung umaalis sa clinical practice kahit mahal nila yung profession. So, that's the reality, di ba? So, balik lang tayo ulit dito sa financial pressures. Nagkakaroon kasi ng rising cost ng equipment, labor, yung drugs, 'di ba? Minsan, student debt, tuition fees. Pero marami na kasi ngayong schools ang state use that offers free tuition, bale ang gastos na lang po ay yung mga gamit, 'di ba? And compensation imbalance, 'di ba? Minsan hindi po sapat yung sinusweldo. Okay? Clients cost sensitivity, economic uncertainty, mga ganyan. High startup cost dahil mahal nga po mag-start ng clinic pero mababa lang ang ROI or return on investment, 'di ba? And other ay low income potential. And then for the market competition, dumadami na po kasi si corporate consolidations. Dumadami na rin ang e-commerce. What do you mean by this? Nasa Shopee na po ang mga nabibili nating preventives like anti-tick and fleas, dewormers, ano pa. Minsan nga antibiotics are also available on e-commerce sites. Bawal po yun, but still they do dispense. Diba? The market wants urgent care, expansion, diba? Price wars, kapag mas mahal si ganito, ganyan, bababaan mo yung presyo sa'yo, 'di ba? Lilipat sa iyo yung tao pag ganoon. 'Di ba? They potentially drive down prices. Pababaan 'yan eh. Kasi kung kanino mababa, doon pumupunta si client. So this could mean that veterinarians are able to charge lower prices para sa serbisyo. 'Di ba? Para lang makapag-compete. Pero maapektuhan yung abilidad na makapag-generate ng profit and makapag-sustain ng business kasi ang mura ng bilihin. Baka wala na sa kapital mo yung pagkakatinda mo, 'di ba? Wala ka ng parang kinita. For example, nakuha mo yung isang item sa wholesaler for 150. Syempre, itininda mo ngayon ng supposedly tinda mo ng 250 eh, 'di ba? Merong clinic na bumili nun, ginawang 200 lang. Ba, 50 pesos lower, but still high impact po 'yun. 'Di ba? Next, regulatory and ethical challenges. Mga regulations, controlled substances management, 'di ba? Mga controlled substances management po yung mga barbiturates po natin yan, sedatives. So, vets who have S2 licenses could give that. Mga pang-euthanasia, ayan. Then, ethical decisions around care levels and economic limitations. And then, other challenges po sa profession. Number 1, dumarami na po ang reklamo tungkol sa mataas na bayarin. Okay? And poor communication. Kapag di po nila nakukuha yung mga gusto nilang malaman patungkol sa kanilang pets. Even overpricing. 'Di ba? Nirereklamo na po yan. Marami na rin ang humihingi ngayon kasi ng discounts, free services. Ayan. Kasabay po nito bumababa ang job openings kahit po tumataas yung bilang ng graduates. 'Di ba? Minsan, clinics only hire 2 vets. 'Di ba? Ayan. And then, ito nga po, mga discounted spay-neuter procedures. Dumarami po yan. Currently, may issue yata tayo dito. Nakikita ko sa Facebook. And then, dito na tayo. Last, key takeaways. So, all in all, tayo mga veterinaryo po ay hindi lang uulitin ko, hindi lang tayo gumagamot, kundi entrepreneur din po tayo. We're also leaders and innovators. So, maraming models ng veterinary practice. So, bawat isa may pros and cons and nasa sa iyo po saang field mo gustong pumunta. Ang entrepreneurship po is key to innovation and sustainability of the profession. But kailangan natin ng adaptive leadership para po malampasan yung mga challenges. Okay? In the end, being veterinarians ay hindi lang po ito calling. This is a profession, a business, and such. So, magiging successful ay hindi lamang magaling sa medisina, but also magaling din sa leadership, innovation, and adaptability. So, that's all for this lesson. We will be having a quiz. I'll be uploading your quiz today, and I'll think about the deadline. If it's tomorrow or the next meeting. Because the next meeting, I believe, wala na pong pasok. So, I'll think about the deadline. And I'll be posting some of the activities, maybe. I'll posting the PowerPoint presentations. Ayan. So, make sure po to read the PowerPoints and watch the recorded lectures. Kasi po, karamihan nga po sa mga nag-request ay recorded lecture. So, they could ulit the videos. Okay, thank you guys for listening.